Hello and welcome to On Public Square, a City of Clarksville podcast where we get to know the amazing city employees that help keep the lights on. They're our friends, our family, our neighbors, and each of them has a story to tell. Now, let's say hello. Welcome to another episode of On Public Square. We've been off the show for a few weeks. Been some changes here at City Hall. Been working on several other projects, which I can't wait to talk about very soon in the future. But today we have a whole round of guests from all around the city employee family. Today I have with me our city employees that will be joining the newest class of Leadership Clarksville. We have Keith Cutshall from CDE Light Band, Patricia Nesbitt from Clarksville Transportation, and we have Jim Ely from Clarksville Fire Rescue. Welcome. It's good to have you all.
Glad to be here.
We're in a new space now. We're not all shoved around my desk. In all the past episodes, I've just had one little universal mic, and we all just kind of have to crowd up to it as close as we can get. So this is a new setup. We can actually breathe a little bit. But I'd just like to go around. We usually start just with some introductions. I guess we can start right across from me. Captain Ely.
So my name's Jim Ely. I've been at Clarksville Fire Rescue for 16 years. Been married for 9 to my wife, Sally. I've got a beautiful little girl, Savannah, and a handful of a little boy named Luke.
Very nice. And what exactly do you do at CFR? We've had a few folks from Fire Rescue up before. We've had Rios and Brandon McCurdy.
Right, and I've worked with both of those great guys. So I'm a suppression captain. The suppression division is basically the guys that you see all the time. We're the ones that make the emergency responses and stuff like that. So I'm a captain in District 2, which is pretty much the north side, Fort Campbell Boulevard, Tiny Town, State Line Road, that area. Work, the 24-hour shifts, 48 hours off. Love it. Love every minute of it. Love coming and can't wait.
Love it. So your job is more kind of what people might think of when they imagine firefighter. That's pretty in line with that.
True. So, Chief Montgomery has recently divided the city into 3 districts, 1, 2, and 3. So, like I said, I'm in District 2. I have a district chief that works directly above me, and then I'm kind of like his right-hand man in the district. We have 4 stations in each district. So, we kind of do the supervisory admin type stuff. I get the opportunity to still ride on an engine, so I get to actually still go on calls and do the fun stuff.
Y'all got the new engine too now.
Yes, we do have the brand new one downtown.
Yeah, Tower One looks so nice.
Yes, it is.
Love it. Patricia.
Hi. So I'm with Clarksville Transit, very new, almost 2 months. I am a business analyst there. So what I do is I write grants and I manage big projects, like the new transit center we're hoping to build in the future. I'm married to a local police officer, and my brother's a local police officer, and my sister-in-law's a local police officer. My father's the former director of transit, actually. And I have 2 wonderful children, a little girl that's 5, it's starting kindergarten this year, and a little boy that's 2 with Down syndrome.
Lovely. Well, your family is just in public service in Clarksville.
We are here.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it. And that's great. I'm hearing a lot about kids. My wife jokes. We have a 5-month-old, and since about 2 months before he's born, I can't go one of these episodes without mentioning him. So she'll want to know 4 minutes and 7 seconds.
They take up so much of your life. So you have to mention them.
We've talked a lot about grants on this show. We've had Carly on, and I've talked with Lauren Winters about coming on to talk about some of her projects. We've been able to talk about the adult changing tables they're putting in at Wilma Rudolph Event Center, and all these other Healthy Babies Family Fund, I believe is what it is, the lead prevention grant that Gas and Water got. That's always, I was telling Carly, that's a job that, even for me, I came from being a writing teacher. I went to school for literature, and I've read some of the grant applications, and it's just goes way over my head sometimes. It's great.
Before this, I worked for 15 years as a nonprofit executive, writing grants in that field, but it's very different. I've learned a lot from Lauren specifically. She's doing great work.
And I saw on your listing for Leadership Clarksville, which I mentioned to you, I actually missed your inclusion at first because it listed a nonprofit that you work with on there. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Sure. So I worked for St. Luke's Community House for 15 years. I was their chief programs officer. It was in Nashville, West Nashville, and serving lots of low-income families. So what we did and what I oversaw was we had a food bank with Second Harvest. We have a child care center. They have a senior citizens, like mobile meals, which is Meals on Wheels, free tax prep, Christmas programs, after school and summer program, and partnering with lots and lots and lots of different organizations.
Love it. Do you still stay involved with the nonprofit sphere?
Yes, I stayed on their programs committee. It's a committee of the board. So I am definitely involved, and lots of people who want to come to Clarksville and do nonprofit work. So I get reached out to a lot.
Love it. Awesome. And then Keith, if you'd like to.
I'm Keith Cutshaw. I'm the Chief Operating Officer at CD Light Band. Been there 29 years. Started out there as a lineman and worked my way up through a foreman position. And I was over safety and training for 11 years and now currently the Chief Operating Officer. So
You probably would work there same time my mom did, Stacy Williams.
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
absolutely, yeah. And then I've got a 20-year-old daughter still at home with me. So
Awesome. So as Chief Operating Officer, what does your day look like?
So I'm over all of the line crews, service trucks, the meter department, engineering, substation maintenance, fiber to the home, all the outside fiber plants. So it's a pretty busy day from day to day. So it's been busy weekend, worked all weekend with the storms.
Love it. So if you're listening to this and you're at your home listening to this on the internet, perhaps you're on CDE Light Band and check it out. I think there was just some additional packages added for higher data plans. Yes.
Yes. Yeah, that's correct. Couldn't tell you what they are. That's the broadband side of the department, but I focus more on the electric side and just the outside fiber plants.
Were you involved with this? The integration of the solar plant that's coming to Clarksville?
Yes, we are working on that. It's about to wrap up. They're starting to install the solar panels. We got our line built into it to make that connection. So just waiting on Silicon Ranch to finish their piece of it.
Love it. I looked into that company a little bit. I was a reporter for Clarksville Now before I came here for 3 years. So I reported on that when Silicon Ranch first announced. I went and looked online at some of their other locations. It's really cool to see. It's going to be a neat sight from the interstate.
Yes, it is. I'll go out on occasion and kind of see the progress, and it's pretty interesting. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a pretty neat project once it's said and done.
Love it. Well, it's good to meet all of you. And, of course, for the main reason we're here, congratulations on making it into Leadership Clarksville. I know that's kind of a long-running local program. I think it's in its 35th year?
I think this is the 36th class.
36th class, yes. And with 36 members to the class, I do believe. If you look around local leadership, a lot of those folks are alumni. We have several up here in this building and on this floor. I know my usual co-host, Jimmy Settle's a Leadership Clarksville alumni. I believe Bill Harpel's done it, who's right down the hallway. And the mayor, I do believe at least. Several city council members I know. Just a great local program. And I guess, how did y'all tell me what made y'all want to apply? Is this the first time you've applied?
Well, I'll go. I was actually accepted into last year's class and missed the retreat because my son was in the hospital. So they deferred me to this year. At the time I was working somewhere else and really setting my sights on being involved in the city here. Knew I wanted to come work for the city and get involved. And so I thought, why not apply and see if I can get involved in making our community better in this way?
So I really have two reasons. One, professional, with I guess you could say unprecedented growth, both economically and population-wise, that Clarksville is experienced in the last few years, and I think we're projected to continue that. I think Clarksville Fire Rescue plays a vital role, in that growth, and has played a vital role in that growth. So I think as officers and people with that organization, we have kind of an obligation to, do what we can and find avenues to help sustain that growth and success for the city. And then, really leadership and development and setting others up for success is a passion of mine. So with the networking and connections that can be made in a program like this, I think does nothing but, help the people that I work with and also help CFR grow.
So largely sort of a professional development interest in general.
Correct.
Love it. What about you, Keith?
Yeah, and I agree with Captain Ely. It's, the electric infrastructure is such a vital role within our community, and making sure, with this Leadership Clarksville being involved and making sure that we grow along with Clarksville and providing reliable service to our customers.
Love it. And I've pulled up Leadership Clarksville's website just to kind of let people know, if you're not familiar with the program, it is a long-running, according to their website, I'll just read what it says here. Welcome to Leadership Clarksville. Leadership Clarksville in Tennessee was founded in 1987 as an independent executive leadership program to give community leaders a three-dimensional view of the Clarksville-Montgomery County, Tennessee community. The program is designed to identify and introduce to each other the recognized and future leaders of the area, and to give them an intense look at the community, its strengths and weaknesses. And I know beyond that, it involves, like you said, Patricia, an initial retreat where everyone gets to know each other. And then following that up with, I think, monthly meetings that sort of take the form of professional development workshops, and usually ends with a project, like some form of project, right?
Yeah, along the way you work on a project.
And I wish I knew some of the previous year projects. I can't think of any right now.
I wonder if I still have last year's email that listed them.
On their website, last year's project, I believe, is they have it on there.
Let's take a look. In the meantime, what all did it take to apply? Like, was it just filling out the form online? Was there an interview process?
For me, there was no interview. No, sir. You get online. There's an online application. I think there's an adult and a youth program. So you do the adult program, but it's not your typical application. It's pretty in depth. You have a letter of recommendation from a past alumni. You do submit three references, and then 3 ideas, kind of topics that you would like to see addressed around the community, that you could propose or whatnot, a solution to, or something like that. So it's not exactly just who you are, your name, age, and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty in depth.
Very cool. Yeah, and I'm just looking. I'm not seeing what it is, but I'll make sure I figure it out. And if I don't see it immediately, I'll Voices of Clarksville, a little litter, a big problem for Clarksville, Montgomery County. So it looks like it involved beautification of the downtown area and solving issues with litter, which is actually a great project. And that's something I've had to write about a few times, talking about issues, especially with roadside debris and what the county and city are doing to mitigate some of those issues. I know one past year there was a in-depth look at what to do with the Vulcan property. I actually saw County Commissioner Joshua Beal talking about that, because that was the project the year he was involved, was researching possible futures for the Vulcan property, which, as people may have seen, is now up for some major developments with a grocery store, maybe a Trader Joe's. I don't know how true that is.
That would be wonderful.
Yeah. Mixed-use housing development and a baseball stadium, possibly. So with Leadership Clarksville, kind of back to the main topic, have you all had a chance to get together before now, or has the new class? So that probably won't happen until the retreat.
There's a mixer in September before the retreat.
Okay.
To get to meet everybody.
Fun stuff. Have any of you done programs like this before, or is this kind of a first?
This is my first experience.
Yes, it's my first experience.
I've done more things like I went through a collective impact cohort in Nashville to align nonprofits working together, working together instead of working in silos to solve community problems. Mm-hmm. So I would think that that's similar, but I think this is probably going to be a little more intense, honestly, and hopefully more fun.
Oh, fun is always a good add to have, especially when you're getting together with a good group of people. Mm-hmm. I suppose another question I have with this, of course, we've talked about the service projects, but also this program is meant to sort of open doors locally by bringing together a group of people so that they can get to know each other and help each other. And I don't want this to be like the stereotypical job interview. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? But I am curious that, of course, people that want to grow in leadership locally probably have specific concerns or areas of interest locally. And I would be interested to kind of hear where you all come on that, what's on your mind as far as things you would like to see or be a part of, either changing or improving or growing here in Clarksville, Tennessee in the foreseeable future.
Well, I'll just say I was born and raised in Clarksville. To see where it was in 1970 to today, Clarksville's just grown tremendously. And to be part of this leadership class and to be involved in leadership in the community, I'd like to see Clarksville to continue to grow and bring good things.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a particular area of interest? Like this is like I guess a pet concern or something. You think that's something we ought to work on?
Not off the top of my head. I mean, I'd have to think about that.
Fair enough. I guess just as an example for me, like I'm very interested in green space and parks, and I'm always interested in projects that bring specifically more places for school-age kids to be able to have things to do and play that doesn't cost a ton of money.
Right.
I think for me, Clarksville, I went to high school in Clarksville, graduated from Kenwood in 2001. But this is the city where I've chosen to live and raise my family. It's very important to me to be an active part of your community and to give back and to help it evolve. Near and dear to my heart, of course, is accessibility and inclusion. Mm-hmm. And that's an area that I know the city is committed to. And I just want to be a part of that work, as well as we grow, you always have to bridge that gap between old and new. Mm-hmm. How do you welcome your new community members and bring along your old ones as well? And so I just think it's an exciting time to be a Clarksvillian. And if you want to have a voice, you have to be at the table.
Mm-hmm. That's right. I think that is the bridging the old and new is both one of the greater obstacles for Clarksville currently, but it's also one of the best opportunities, if you ask me. I was just talking with some folks about kind of the discussion of important, like keeping the historical nature, especially if looking at like downtown and along the stretch of Madison Street between, I guess I'll say Greenwood and Pageant, I think is about where I'm talking about, how that's a very iconic, like aesthetically iconic area. But it's also growing. We have businesses moving in downtown every day. I know Official Wings is going in on one corner and Beach Haven's opening up a shop on the other corner. Yeah, I know. I'm excited to just see new stuff downtown all the time. But and just balancing that growth for like you said, Keith, you've lived here all your life. I grew up here out in the county, out by Montgomery Central, and there have been people who've been here 50, 60 years that remember when Clarksville was much, much smaller. Mm-hmm. But personally, I'm always excited to see growth, and it's just nice to see things mesh, I suppose.
I think the arena is a good example of that. I can remember growing up here and wishing there was more to do. And then now as an adult, really excited that I could take my children to things there. But your initial reaction is, what is this going to do to our city? Right. So I think, we'll see how it grows, how it goes.
It's the end of an era in many ways for many things, but it's also the beginning of new eras. One for me, I'm very excited about this pedestrian bridge that's going in that'll connect the Greenway to the Riverwalk and create a safe way for people to cross the Red River. Stuff like that I love to see. Just things that expand new possibilities and make Clarksville better for everybody.
Exactly.
What about you, Captain Ely?
Well, to kind of piggyback on what you've all talked about with growth and progress, and your green space comment, I would like to see us strike a balance between maybe the urban sprawl that we're experiencing, and we're moving out into these county areas where, like you said, you grew up in these farmland and woodland areas that people grew up. They hunt and they fish and stuff like that. Those places are disappearing. So I would like to see us strike a balance and maybe explore some different building codes or whatever that allow us to kind of build up a little bit in our already existing urban areas instead of just continue to expand out into our rural areas.
I suppose that's a particular concern for fire rescue as well, because as buildings get taller, there's more demand on the firefighters. I believe I saw something about a new building that's being considered that would be the new tallest building in Clarksville. 10
stories, I believe. Isn't it?
Yeah, over here on, I think it's Spring Street or something.
But even more, like that type of upwards growth, we would definitely be able to handle that. That would just take a little bit extra training, a little bit extra equipment. But the bigger challenge is when we grow out into these rural areas, we have volunteer, fire protection, and that's not 24/7, like it is in the city limits. So that, and they're very expensive homes and developments being built out in those areas that have basically no fire protection, 24/7. So that's more of a concern for me. And I think, some of the residents then would be, us growing upward. And no, they do an excellent job, with what they do. They pour their heart and soul into it, and they're volunteering their time. They're paid to do it. So, it takes a special type of person to do that, and that definitely not trying to diminish what they do, but their their availability and capabilities are just limited.
Say that I think Mayor Golden, that is something that's been very much on his mind since he took office. I don't want to speak for him. I don't know the exact plans. No, he absolutely
isn't. I worked with Wes when Mayor Golden when he worked.
I think we can say Wes. We all know who he is.
He probably prefer it, wouldn't he? Yeah. I worked with Wes when he was at CFR. So, I know that the county public safety is near and dear to his heart.
I forgot he was with CFR.
I think for about 6 years, 6 or 7 years.
And his dad was a lineman, if I remember.
Yeah, worked with his dad for a lot of time.
You really do just have families that stay in the public service sector for long periods of time in Clarksville, I'm realizing.
I know him through dance. My daughter does dance with his daughter.
Where does your daughter do dance?
Afro Dance Express. So.
Oh, okay. My wife's a dance teacher. She teaches at Fort Campbell for MWR with their Skies youth programs, but she teaches ballet and tap.
See?
Yeah, she taught with Rewind previously.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Small world.
Yeah. But
you're talking about growing out, and that makes me think about how you provide equitable transit, right, to the city, which we already kind of, we're growing faster than we can handle it. And then when you think about how hard it is to hire people, and the more we grow out, how are we going to provide service to the people who need and or want it in a way that's fair and equitable? And I know that that's a lot of the conversation we have at transit.
Transit and infrastructure. That's already an issue. Probably to everybody that lives here, so that.
Yeah, and I know Transit's been on the ball with adding stops where they're needed, and the incorporation of the app to help people plan out their routes has been great. I'm going to in a second ask about the new transit center because I haven't heard much lately.
I don't know how much I'm allowed to say.
Fair enough. But I know that's been a challenge that I think CTS has done really well with. And I actually, just recently, I was with Veronica to do a video for the Women of Clarksville Expo this coming weekend. And we did a preview ride, and I put a camera on the front of the bus, and we did a little bit of filming inside.
How fun.
Yeah, so that'll be out tomorrow. It was going to be out a little earlier, but I needed to do some extra editing on it. No, I'm really excited about that. And I actually hadn't been on one of the city buses in forever. It was really cool to see what they look like inside now. And I didn't realize how much space was given to making sure that the buses are accessible. And it was just impressive. It was good.
I think transit has done a great job so far. I'm a little biased, obviously, with my dad being the former director and working there now, but I think they've done great work.
I want to do an episode at some point just to talk about the free days and how people, if they want to get a bus pass, and just talk about all of those things and talk about how to use the app. I'd love to get some CTS folks, you if you'd like to, and a couple other folks, and just talk about the logistics of, and maybe we can check in on talking about that transit center sometime.
Yeah. I will say that we've had some historical studies done, architectural surveys, and right now we are working with the FTA to, at the identified location that we would like, that was the number one recommended, to see how it would impact any historical properties in the area. And so it's just a process.
I feel like that's got to be a logistical bear to figure out where to put the nerve center of your bus system.
Yes. I came on and they told me that was my number one priority. And so here we go. We're going to do it. And there will be a new transit center in the future.
Goodness. I'm actually really loving having, for all the episodes before, we've had a lot of folks up here, but it's always been from one department. This is the first time we've had a group of people from different departments, and I think it really adds something to being able to, because everyone has a different perspective. Right. I don't think this is also not one of us works in the same building. We have CDE over on Wilma. We have the transits. Are you located at the transit center or at CTS
Lane.
Over on Boylan? And then of course fire rescue is all over the place.
Everywhere.
And, that's really interesting. So I don't know what people think about when they think about city employees and where they work, but it's actually everywhere. There's lots of folks doing lots of cool stuff. We have some folks from Parks and Rec coming up later to talk about the parks, and so you got folks everywhere. It's just cool. Yep. Yeah. But thinking, is there anything else to talk about with Leadership Clarksville in particular? I do know, I would like people to know that there is a youth element to it. If you're looking for something for your teenagers to do, there is a program for them as well. Youth Leadership Clarksville. I don't know when their application process starts. I know the next class for Leadership Clarksville, I believe, opens in May of next year for class of 2025. So it's probably about the same. But there is a teenage class, a youth program for high schoolers that people might want to know about. Does a lot of similar things, has a retreat element, I believe, but does these monthly meetings and workshops. It's for sophomores through seniors in high school. Can be public or private high school as long as it's in Clarksville, Montgomery County. They do a lot of the same stuff. They are looking for people who demonstrate leadership qualities in their school, community, and or church activities, and looking for students with grade points of 2.75 to 4.0. And yes, they do start their application process in mid-May. So maybe for some of the teenagers out there, that might be something you'd want to look at. I know all of us here said we have kids of various ages. Have any of your kids done anything like this?
No.
I think I'm in the same boat you are, Patricia. My daughter's just starting kindergarten this year too, so we're on the beginning stages of our school and leadership journey. Right.
Same. I won't be surprised though if she does. She's definitely the leader of our house.
Tight Type A kids. I'm curious what I'm going to be getting into with my son. Of course, only 6 months, but he's already like into everything that he can reach. I'm so terrified of when he becomes mobile in a month or two.
Good luck.
Kid's curious. He's not happy unless he's at eye level with everybody and can see what you're doing. If I'm working from home, he has to be where he can see what's on my desk.
Oh.
That's kind of a double-edged sword, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
you're glad he's curious, but on the other hand, you're...
It's like you're going to be wicked smart, but you're also going to be wicked clever, and I don't know if that's good for me.
Right.
Oh, that's great. Wonderful. Well, we've been talking we're coming up on half an hour. Anything else we want to add? Wonderful.
I would just say there's great work happening in the city, and people should look into it.
Yes.
It's more than just what you read and what you see on Facebook. So.
Yes. And to add to that, we were just talking in the hallway about how we're always hiring, especially in a lot of our first responder departments between CPD and CFR, but not just them. I know there's a lot of jobs over at Clarksville Gas and Water. Mm-hmm. I believe there's a handful at CDE.
Correct.
Come drive a bus.
Yeah. We do need bus drivers right now. That's right. Yeah. Do you know how many we're looking for at the moment?
All of them. No, I don't know. I don't know an exact number. But we need some.
But if you're out there looking for a job, there's a lot of them. If you go to the City of Clarksville's website, go to the How Do I page and then click Apply for a Job. And it'll bring up a whole list of jobs ranging from just about anything you can imagine, whether you want to work in accounting or drive a bus or fight fires. Anything you can imagine. Come work for the city. It's a great place to work.
Agreed.
Right.
Wonderful. Well, thank you all so much for coming up.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, this has been a great time, and congratulations again on getting into Leadership Clarksville. I hope it's a great experience, and I can't wait to hear how the project at the end goes, whatever it might be.
Well, thank you.
Yep.
Love it. Well, thank you all for listening and joining us, and we'll catch you next time on Public Square.